Hello. Thank you for I just wanted to say here that Heather Smith, who is a program coordinator for the Safety at Home program with the BON, which she will be discussing today. Heather holds a diploma in recreation and leisure services with experience in volunteer management, seniors, and aquatics. Beyond her career, Heather takes pride in her husband and three girls. Good to have three girls. We got those, and a boy too. But you'll often find her enjoying moments, cheering them on beside a pool, on the ski hill, or horseback riding. So, Heather, take it away. It's all yours.
Thanks so much, David. So it's great to be here today. Thanks for coming in from the beautiful weather and just spending some time together. And if you're watching this on the recording, just thanks so much for joining. So the presentation I'm going to do today is normally very interactive. So I've spent some time to try and take those portions out of it, just as per your guys' request. And we're gonna just kind of go with it. So hopefully you have lots of questions at the end that would have normally come up in the middle. So we're gonna do a little bit of an activity too in the middle. So if you could grab a pen and a piece of paper before we get started, if you're able to grab that, or if those brain teasers woke your brain up and you're able to just remember, that's also a great option. So like David said, I'm the program coordinator for the Safety at Home program for the Victorian Order of Nurses. And today, hopefully you'll have a good grasp of what our program does. And maybe hopefully it's something that we can come in and help you in your home, or if you have a family member or a neighbor that you feel would benefit from this program, you'll be able to pass on this information. So the biggest question that we always ask people, sometimes it's for us so that we also get some better and good ideas also, but just think about some ways that you keep safe in your own home. So have you gone above and beyond in a way, or seen something that someone else has done that they've done on purpose to keep their home safe? So just kind of think through those. And if we don't touch on any of them at the end, if you can bring those up at the end, and because if we haven't thought of them, then it's a great time to share that information also. So VON does more than Safety at Home, obviously. Most people think right away to our nursing programs. So this is just an overview of PSW and programs that we have to support clients in the community. So we have our volunteer visiting programs. So a volunteer would go to a client's home and visit them if they're lonely, isolated, or if they are in a position in hospice palliative care and their family needs a bit of a break. We have a hospice palliative volunteer visiting program also. And so those are some services that if you're looking to volunteer, you're looking to give back, we're always looking for volunteers for those programs. Safety at Home program is obviously one. And then the bottom half, the E-Shift, which is kind of our new, it's a PSW and nursing program. And then that bottom half is more nursing and PSW related, but that's the big ways that we support clients in Brantford. So the Safety at Home program, I'm going to go back because no. Okay. So most people want to live independently in their own homes. That's most people's goal. And so we work on those with people. So falls are the main reason why most seniors lose their independence and end up with severe injuries in the emergency department. So when we come in with Safety at Home, we focus on we focus on things that are preventable. So what can we do in your home to prevent a fall? And we focus on those, whether it's someone's environment, so their physical space, whether it's something behavioral that we're able to change. So a way that they're standing, a way that they're getting into bed or out of bed. And they just do it because they've always done it that way and they're just used to doing it that way. Or is it a social or economical issue? As in, the biggest way we see that is people aren't able to afford grab bars or walkers or shower chairs. And so we have a subsidy for grab bars specifically, and then we can point people in direction for other medical devices and work with them to get those. And unfortunately, there's also some non-preventable reasons why people fall. So sometimes it's just good for family to understand that and how that works. And we're able to kind of educate them on that. So some non-preventable things are biological. So Alzheimer's, hearing loss, kind of those non-preventable, or things we cannot change, sorry, not non-preventable, that falls just come with those things. So things like Parkinson's, neuropathy, those are just kind of things we can't prevent and change. So how did this program come to be? So this program came to be because there is a large wait list for occupational therapists that are funded through the province. So we are a LHIN funded program. So our LHIN is Brant, Haldimand, Norfolk, Hamilton, and Niagara. It's one kind of large area. And it starts through where if you have someone through home and community care or what used to be called CCAC, that's that same LHIN. So there's 4 coordinators in that area. So I'm the Brant area. There's another coordinator in Haldimand, Norfolk, another one in St. Catharines, and another one in Hamilton. So if you know people in those areas and in our LHIN, then I can certainly give you that information to contact those coordinators. So we are not OTs, but we can help you get your home as safe as possible and get grab bars installed, which you don't require an OT, which a lot of people, that's what they're waiting for, is just those tips and tricks. We give referrals to OTs. We can see bathroom safety equipment that's not in place, or when someone's mobility isn't as good as it could be. We are able to kind of start that ball rolling for people while they're waiting for an OT. Okay, so we're a free individualized home visit. So it's not the same checklist, the same list of things for people in every home. A lot of them we do see repeated, but a lot of them aren't also. So it's very individualized for where you're living. We leave recommendations for you. I always say to people, I'm not coming back to check to make sure you've done these things. I can walk out of here and you can say that lady's nuts. I'm not doing any of these things, or you can take them and do with them as you want. We also can be a good position for people for referrals. So we might say this would be a great candidate for someone to have a volunteer visitor, or no, this person needs an occupational therapist. It might come up in a conversation that they don't feel safe having a shower and dressing on their own, so their neighbor comes over. So we can do that referral to home and community care. We have an assistive device subsidy, so that's for the grab bars. So if someone is not able to afford to purchase or have installed grab bars, we have a subsidy for that, and we do all that work on the back end for them. They just kind of verbally give us the numbers, and we get that in for them, and then work with professional installers. So we work with Action Medical, and they do all of our installs for us so that we know that they're put in properly, and they're very professional, even just on the other end of going to clients' homes. And then the follow-up support is we do give them a call just to see how things are going. Were they able to do anything that we've suggested? And then kind of in that, sometimes it's just a good reminder for people, oh yeah, I started that, but I didn't hear anything back, or I've forgotten about that. And then, I'm able to say, and how are you feeling now? And maybe something has changed and they're wanting a referral to home and community care, or, could you pop back in? Because I think I could use some grab bars after thinking about it. So just that support there, in following up for them. So our goal is ultimately to prevent and decrease the number of falls that older adults experience while living at home. So we always say a fall is ending up on the ground unintentionally. So a lot of people say, well, I slid off the couch, but I could get up. It wasn't really a problem. So just having a good conversation with people of what a fall actually is. Because often when you say ending up on the ground unintentionally, they say, oh, yeah, well, I've done that. So just really helping people see, so we can be preventative. So our program was established while we focusing on and identifying the risk of people falling. So your assessment is provided by a coordinator, and the focus is on the implementation of recommendations to prevent slips and falls in the home. We also provide education and awareness while we're in someone's home. So just really explaining to them, why this area rug is dangerous, or this is a better way to get up for you. Do you have a walker? Even if you're not going to use it to walk around, this is a great way to use it to stand up out of your chair. Get your balance and get your bearings. So we have lots of other information about other services and service providers and volunteer programs. And then we're also able to be a link for people with their family. So if their family hasn't been at the visit, we're also just able, did you want me to give your daughter a call, or your son, or whatever family member a call to see if, to just give them some education about this as well, or your concerns. And so we're able to be that link for people sometimes. So this service is accessible to all seniors, so that's 55 and over, regardless of their income. So it has, the only thing that's about your income is the subsidy. But this program is very beneficial to anyone who's over 55. So some people say, oh, well, I'm good at knowing what's safe and what's not safe. So what we like to say is that we have kind of developed a different set of eyes and a different perspective on things as we go into other people's homes and the education that we've received. And it's a brand new situation for us. So have you ever gone to, a new restaurant and you think, oh, and you look around and you notice things that you will never notice again when you've been there for 50 or 60 times, right? So people get used to their stairs looking like this. Whereas we come in and they say, well, I just know how to maneuver them, right? So we come in and think, okay, well, that's not safe. And we kind of work with people, and we're just not used to it. It's also a great program. Sometimes children call us and say, I'm worried about these things and they don't seem to be. And then I can go in and, make the same recommendations or talk through the same thing that their children have been talking to them about. And they just hear it differently. And sometimes they say, sometimes parents just need to hear it from people who aren't their children. And so we can also kind of work together and be that link for people. Okay, so the next thing is what you are going to need your pen and paper for. So I'm going to bring up a picture, and I want you to make a list of things that you see. Some of them are blatantly obvious, some of them are not, that make this room and home unsafe. Okay, so are you ready? I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and then I'll just kind of talk through them. And if there's things that I miss at the end, we'll just talk through those once the recording has stopped. Okay, here we go. Whoops, sorry. Oh, now the picture's gone. Oh, look, it's a twist of events. There you go. Sorry. Okay, about 5 more seconds. Okay. So hopefully you found quite a few things. So I'm going to just kind of go through this. I don't often go through it this way. People normally shout out things that they see. So here we go. So one of the biggest things I think people always notice is this rug in the middle. So it's not pulled flat. It's got a corner turned up. So area rugs are kind of the number one thing that both of these here, that we don't love. So we always like to put our foot on them, make sure they don't move. And then we also like to make sure we can't kick it up, so that if we're shuffling one day, we're tired, our muscles just aren't feeling the greatest, we don't get caught on that area rug. So you can take them away. You can get some really good double-sided tape now. So that's kind of the biggest thing for people. All of these extension cords that are being used, as well as that they're all over the floor and everywhere. So tripping hazard, and just the possibility of fire. And then that kind of takes us into, they probably have all these extension cords because there's only 2 plugs in this room. So there's one here and there's one over here. The other thing we only see one of is this light switch. So we don't, we like to be able to have access to lights a little bit more than that. So we bring motion lights or suggest motion lights, or night lights, that the room is always lit up so that we're not having to use just that one light switch and come through the room when it's dark. Our coffee maker here seems to be, boiling over, very, very full. The stack of papers here. So if it fell over, it would be in a main traffic area, whether it be out throughout this door or through here up the stairs. Her footwear, we love to see people wearing solid rubber bottom, front and a back. So she doesn't have a heel on her shoe. So we also look at things like that when we come in for our home safety assessments. What they're wearing on their feet. Are there other factors? Smoking, obviously. Cigarette almost falling off the table. Glasses being over here on this table and the table not being accessible from the chair. So we talk about rearranging furniture so that it's open travel pathways, but also that it's usable. Medicine cabinet being open, and then medicines being over here. So this is a big part of our safety at home assessment also, is talking through people's medications. Do they know what they're taking all their medications for? Do they know some side effects? And have they had an at-home meds check with their pharmacist lately? So people just don't understand sometimes that they can have an at-home. So your pharmacist comes to your home once a year, paid for by through OHIP. And so just really urging people to get those things done. The blanket on the heater is a big one here. And smoke alarm. So the smoke alarm obviously isn't working. So we always ask people, do you test your smoke alarms monthly? And if they say no, and then they have a reason of, which is most people, I can't reach it, or you just told me not to stand on a ladder or a step stool. Just teaching people how to use a broom in order to test them, and then testing them with them while you're there, because it makes some people quite nervous. So just working through that, making sure they have working smoke alarms. Some people don't, and if not, then that's a referral we can make, and the fire department will come over and do that for them, change it out and make sure they have one, as well as changing the batteries twice a year. Items on the stairs here is a thing we try to avoid. And the biggest one that most people miss is that there's no railing here on the stairs. So we look through things like that as well. On the outside of your house, the inside of your house, are all the stairs even and equal? So, I mean, from this picture, it would appear as though this first step is much smaller than the others, and then along with this one too. So we just check all sorts of things like that. So I'm sure I've missed a few while we've been going through. So if you have some, we'll catch those up on the other end. So this is kind of where our priorities lie when we're at your house, is inside. We're looking at your doors. So do they close behind you too quickly? Are the thresholds too hard for you to get up and over? The furniture and your walkways, bathrooms are probably the biggest one where most people are concerned with, but as well, just safety issues. Your kitchen, so is everything you're using on a daily basis, are you able to reach it? And then scatter mounts, we talked about that already. So lighting, are your light bulbs strong enough? Can you see in your laundry room well enough, even though it's in the basement? Are you having to walk to one of those pull strings to turn the light on in the dark? Is the light bulb bright enough in itself? So are your switches accessible? So for the flooring, we're just looking to make sure that they themselves aren't slippery, and if they are, getting some non-slip items put down. And thresholds. So thresholds are a big one. People get different floorings put in over the years, and then the thresholds are different, or one room is higher than the other. And then we also look at outdoors. So are there walkways well lit? Are they accessible? Are they in good repair? Do we need a railing outside to help get in? A lot of people are moving to new condos and they don't have railings on the outside. So just trying to figure that out. And is it nice and level? And then stairs, we kind of talked about, is there a handrail? Are they uniform? Can you see on them? So those are things that that we're always looking for. So there's always more than just our physical space and how we can stay safe. So staying active and exercising regularly. So we're always giving people information about our fitness programs in the area, or somewhere that's close to them that has a fitness class. Really just encouraging people to take their time, but also ensuring that people know that slow moving people fall also. So that can't be the be all and end all, but in conjunction with something, it works really well. Our fire alarms and CO alarms, I didn't touch on that in that picture, sorry. Making sure people drink enough water and eating 3 meals a day that include vegetables and fruit and meat. Oh, and that's the next line, fruit and vegetables. And then ultimately just smiling and laughing and having a good time. And so that's often where our volunteer program comes in. Some people are shut-ins or don't have any friends or family around, and so they're quite isolated. And so that volunteer visiting program is a very good piece for us also. So that is how else we stay safe. But really the part of our program that helps most people and what makes them feel confident the most is setting them up with independence. And so grab bars and other safety devices, so canes, walkers, non-slip floors and areas, and just really making sure that they're able to get those items, even if their income doesn't allow that. So just setting them up for success in those other areas to keep them independent at home. So recently we just were able to help a client with a very limited budget install 3 grab bars in her bathroom. So by helping her to pay for this, she was able to use the money for a stair lift, which is a much larger expense that it's very hard to find a subsidy for, to be able to get upstairs to her bathroom because she'd been sleeping on the living room couch. So it's just those little things that we're able to help people that make huge changes in their lives and their quality of life. And it's just part of the program that is just so nice to be able to help people with. So we kind of talked about referrals before. So this is where most of our referrals go, to companies or organizations in town. So our exercise program, there's lots of amazing exercise programs around. So we just give that information out to people. We leave it with them. Meds check, so that's the at-home meds check and blister packing medications, mobility devices, foot care programs, volunteer visiting and hospice visiting, Meals on Wheels. That's another big one that people have a large need for, and other day programs around town. So John Noble and Artsy, we're always giving information out about, and just really encouraging people to stay connected and sometimes just helping them make that connection. And then of course, the biggest thing that we love hearing is just comments from clients and how the program has been able to help them and stay more independent, and even from clients' children and families, just the peace of mind for them that the program was able to give them. And so I'll just leave you with a couple here to read through. And that is, I'm just looking at the time. So that's it from me. I think we're going to end the recording, and then we'll take some questions and comments. But here's my information here. So if you would like to have me come out, or if you want someone to, if you have someone in mind that would be good for this program, pass on the information for sure, or I can certainly get some information to you if that would be helpful in some other way, shape, or form. So I'll pass it back to you guys.
Okay.